What up? What up? What up? Still Broke Podcast. It's your host, Marcus Moore, in the building. We got to talk some buffs, man. We got to talk some buffs. We got to talk some Travis Hunter. And we got to talk about this snub that we are getting from college football and Travis Hunter not being a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. For those of you who do not know what the Jim Thorpe Award is, the Jim Thorpe Award goes to the top defensive back in college football. Okay. We all know that Travis is a two-way player. He is a full-time two-way player. So he plays both sides of the ball all game long. Travis has been nominated. He's the favorite for the Heisman right now. He's a finalist for multiple awards, but he's not a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. So you say to yourself, okay, he's probably going to be a finalist for the Heisman. He's a Heisman favorite. He's nominated for multiple awards, one being the most outstanding player, best all-around player. But the one that stands out to me is the Bednarik Award. Now, he's a finalist for the Bednarik Award. For those of you who don't know what that award is, that award goes to the top defensive player in college football. So let me get this straight. He's a finalist for the top defensive player in college football, but he's not a finalist for the defensive position that he plays. So again, I'm going to say that to you once again. He's a finalist for the best defensive player in football, but yet the defensive position that he plays, he is not a finalist for that award. How does that happen? Make it make sense. And I don't even know what to say about this because it is, I hate to use Deion's word, so idiotic, but it just undermines the integrity of the actual award itself. Like, how can I be a finalist for the best defensive player, but yet the position I play, I'm not a finalist for the best player at that position? It makes zero sense whatsoever. Let alone, I'm most likely the favorite and the finalist for the best player in college football. It makes zero sense, ladies and gentlemen. And I hear a lot of people talk about this, and I hear people say, well, who cares? It doesn't matter. He's going to win the Heisman. First of all, we don't know if he's going to win the Heisman. He's the favorite. He should win it, but we don't know if he's going to win it. That's number one. Number two is that who cares? He cares. And everybody that's involved with his development cares. He cares. His coaches care. Okay? His teammates care. His parents care. His fiance cares. Everybody who has put in the grind to get him to where he is, they care because it matters. And a lot of times I hear this from a lot of people who have not played the sport, and I'm not one of those guys that say, hey, if you didn't play, you don't know ball. I'm not one of those guys. But sometimes it makes sense because to you, it's just an award. He can get this up. We have no idea what he's going to get or what he's going to receive. But the bottom line is that he earned the right to be a finalist as the best defensive back in college football. If he's earned the right to be the best defensive player in college football, if he's earned the right to be the best player in college football, if he's earned those rights, those opportunities to win the award, I didn't say you had to give it to him, but if he's earned the ability to be a finalist to win it as the best defensive player, how could he not as the best defensive back? This means something, guys. It means something to these guys. It's not a who cares. They care. He cares. Everybody involved cares because it means something. It means something to them. They put in the blood, sweat, and tears. All the sacrifices that have to be made to make it to this level, to be a great player, to be as phenomenal as a Travis Hunter is or anybody else that has made it this far and been that great. All the sacrifices that go into that matters. It matters. And to dismiss it like, well, he may get this or he may get that. No, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. He earned his spot. We talk about it. Life is not fair. Football is not fair. But what we teach our young kids, our young athletes, is that if you put in the work, if you do everything you're supposed to do, and you earn the right, that matters. He earned the right to be up there. He earned the right to be a finalist. And to take that away from him just undermines the integrity of what this, not only the award, but the sport itself, because it makes no sense. You cannot have a logical argument about why this man is not a Jim Thorpe Award finalist. There is no argument for it. There is no logical sense for it. The only reason that somebody or somebodies just didn't want him to, because maybe they thought, oh, he's getting too much. No, he didn't get anything. He earned that. He put it all out there. He's the one making these plays. He sacrificed so many things to get to this position. So he earned that right. Hey, I didn't say deserve. Because I can't say we deserve anything. Life ain't fair. Doesn't matter what we deserve. But he earned that. And yeah, he should take home every award. Yeah, he came to get it all. I want it all. What Warren G say? I want it all. Brand new socks and draws. I want it all. And he does, again, Sensei deserves, but he's earned the right to get it all. Now, if he doesn't win it, I get it. Okay, fine. But if you mean to tell me he's up for the best defensive player in college football, and he's up for the best player in college football, but he's not up for the best player at the position that he plays, it makes no sense. It makes zero sense. And to sit here and say it doesn't matter and who cares, it definitely matters. And who cares? He cares. Prime cares. University of Colorado cares. His teammates care. His family cares. Everybody that made sacrifices to get him to where he is today, they care. And everybody who voted on that should be ashamed of themselves. And if they didn't put him in there, they actually should lose their vote. Listen, I'm serious, man. I'm serious. You should lose your vote because some things are very common sense. Some things it's just common sense. So for this to kind of get through and move through, and this is no diss to any of the other three gentlemen that are finalists. No, it's not. No diss to any of them. But to sit here and act like Travis Hunter isn't one of the best 3 defensive backs in the country, which you've already told me he is because he's the finalist for the Ben Arc. That goes to the best defensive player. He only played one position. That's defensive back. He don't play all of them on defense. He played one. That would be having to be defensive back. That's what he plays. So if he's a finalist for that, how could he not be a finalist for the Jim Thorpe? And again, I'm not getting into all the numbers. You can go look at the numbers yourself. I'm just pointing out that one thing to you because that's the one thing that makes zero sense when it comes to this. And again, do not tell me, guy who didn't suit him up. Do not tell me, guy who's never been through a 2-a-day. Do not tell me, guy who doesn't go through summer conditioning. Do not tell me, guy who doesn't get up at 6 a.m. to go to winter conditioning and then go to class. Do not tell me that guy that it doesn't matter who cares. Because to you, it doesn't matter. Because you've never sacrificed for that. You never sacrificed like this man did. You never sacrificed like any of these athletes have. So for you, it doesn't matter. Because how could it? Because you would never know. How could it matter? Because you would never know what it takes to sacrifice, to lay everything on a line, to be in a position that these kids are. So I don't expect you to understand that, but I do expect you to understand common sense and to sit here and say, listen, if this kid is that good, if he's up for every single award and he plays 2 positions full time, then obviously the position that he plays, he should be a top 3 finalist in that position. Now, whether he wins it or not, that's up to you. That's up to you. But to not have him in it is just ridiculous. And we had an opportunity to make history here in college football. And not because it's the right thing to do, not just because we just want to make history and because it just sounds fun and it sounds good and it's a good story. No, because we actually have somebody that has earned the right to make history and has put in everything that he has to get the opportunity to make this history. And to snub him of that is just plain selfish. And again, I'm not sure who the voters were. I'm not sure the people who kept him out of it, but it's selfish, it's idiotic, it's stupid, it's dumb, it's ridiculous. And again, it just undermines the integrity of what we do in sport. Because in sport, it's not supposed to be about the politics. We do know it comes down to that. Those of us have been involved with it. We do understand that does happen. But that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be about these kids landing on the line. And again, based on what you're telling me, by keeping him as a finalist or awarding him as a finalist of the Ben Arc Award, best defensive player in college football, you've already told me he's the best defensive back in college football because all 3 of those guys up there aren't DBs. They all play different positions. So you've already told me he's the best at that position. So how in a you-know-what can he not be a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award? College football, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. The awards committee, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And you can't take it back. You can't take it back. And again, you have robbed somebody of their lifelong hard work, of their lifelong earnings. You have robbed them of that. And for what reason, I have no idea. But this was simple and it was easy. And here again, we got people in the room that have no business being in the room, and this is what we got. And you should be ashamed of yourself, college football. And that's what I got to say about that, man. It's a shame, man. It's a shame. And I know I'm not sitting here, we're making a big deal about this because, it's, you put in your life's work for stuff like this. If you've ever been an athlete at any kind of level, you put in your life's work, your life's earnings to do this. And when you're good enough when you're good enough to make it to this level and you're good enough to make it to these, to these awards, these prestigious awards you can get, you at least expect them to respect the work that you put in and let the work speak for itself. But for them to rob you of that, just to rob you of it for no reason, that's the frustrating part of it. That is the absolute frustrating part of this. And that's the stuff that makes you can't sleep at night. Because you can't go back. You can't go back and say, oh, put them in right now because it made sense and we should have done it. You can't do it. It's done. What's done is done. And life will move on. But the bottom line is that this was completely wrong. It was wrong. And it was wrong on every level. And I hope Travis sweeps every other award. But the bottom line is that Jim Thorpe should have been in there. And I believe this would have been Colorado's third Jim Thorpe Award winner. And I know it meant something for Deion to have him win that award because he won that award. He is a recipient. He's a Jim Thorpe Award recipient. So to coach another Jim Thorpe Award recipient, that means something as well. That means something to him. It means something to the program. It means something to both of them involved because that's something they also can share together. That's something that they can share. You heard the relationship with those two guys. Sees Prime as a father, as a second father. Deion sees Travis as one of his sons. So that is also something that they get to share together, that both of them are Jim Thorpe Award winners. And now they don't get to do that. And why? Because somebody was playing selfish and not respecting the game of football. Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders, University of Colorado, whatever it was. Somebody there or somebody's there wanted to disrespect that for their own selfish feeling, whatever that may be. And it affects a lot of people involved because a lot of people have put their work in here to get this kid to this position, but mainly him, mainly Travis, because Travis doesn't deserve that. Travis is everything that you ask an athlete to be. As Prom said, he don't drink, he don't smoke, he comes to work every day. He's a scholar student, does everything the right way, and his work speaks for itself. And his work tells you he's a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. Has he told you he's a finalist for Blitnikoff? And it told you he's a finalist for the Bednark. And it told you he's a finalist for the Walter Camp. Okay? And then Max. And go on and go on and go on. And it should be that in the Heisman as well. So to take that away from him for no reason, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. But shame on college football. And shame on whoever was voting on this. And if it was up to me, you never get a vote again. Never again. Because this was egregious. Egregious error. I'm out. Still Broke Podcast. Marcus Moore. We'll catch you the next time. We out of here. Peace out.